Howdy, my name's Travis Kidd. I'm a representative for S&W Seed. Our partner brands, Sorghum Partners, as well as Alfalfa Partners. I cover this area from the Rio Grande Valley, all through this area, on up north, north of I-10 and out north of I-20. Travel all the way to the Red River. Carry all this area. S&W Seed originally started as an alfalfa company. Two gentlemen ranchers that were looking for salt tolerance in alfalfa. Now, once we started getting, they developed their own program, R&D program for alfalfa, and found salt tolerance. And today, those hybrids are going to fit extremely well for this environment. So we have a fall dormancy 8 as well as a 9 that's actually on the back side of this property here at Texas Agriscience. Those are well known for their salt tolerance. S&W Seed purchased Sorghum Partners. This is actually a great example, NK300. Historically, this is one of our oldest known hybrids in the nation. This was actually produced in 1958. It's an extremely high performing hybrid. This is actually a northern and central Mexico grain sorghum hybrid, but in the north of the Rio Grande River, we use it as a forage hybrid and silage hybrid. You can tell right here I'm 6'5", but this product in areas is up to 6'5", but in the margins of the field we're approaching closer to 5 foot. So if we had higher fertility and high moisture contents, we'd be able to have a nice silage product. This is actually grown here in South Texas and the winter garden for silages. This is SP78M30. This is a high-performing hybrid, sugarcane aphid tolerant. This is one of the first hybrids we discovered that was tolerant to the sugarcane aphid. Due to its background, it's closer and stronger in aphid tolerance. We have that high tolerance due to that Texas 2783 background. Texas 2783 is the public line that all of the sorghum companies source that tolerance from. 78M30 is a nice irrigated hybrid for this area of the world. It can perform well on dry land. I'd like to see it east of 77, Highway 77, and performs along the Gulf Coast, up the coastal bend, and on over to the Bay City area. SP68M57, this hybrid is our most widely known hybrid. It's most well traveled. It performs extremely well dry land and irrigated from northern Mexico all the way up into Nebraska. This is just one of those hybrids that you would really want in your lineup if you're a seed representative. You know, and so I'm very lucky to have this hybrid in our lineup. It's showing some extremely good exertion right here. It performs extremely well dry land, and this one's going to yield the best. It fits extremely well from McCook, Texas, all the way east of Highway 77. There's not very many acres that this hybrid won't go on and perform very well for. SP7715, this is also a sugarcane aphid tolerant hybrid. One of the things that this one's really well known for is its exertion and height. We've known that taller hybrids tend to yield a little bit more because of, you know, these plants are essentially, you know, solar panels. So the more light that they can capture, the more yield that they can produce. Due to that height, you know, we're going to get more yield. We're also going to be able to put this under irrigated scenarios and management practices, but this can also be dry land. This is more of an eastern product, so I like to see this on the east side of Highway 77. Keep this on the east side. This travels well up the coastal bend, the El Campo area, on over through the southeast. It's known for its this hybrid's known for its anthracnose disease tolerance and resistance, and so it's actually an extremely high performing hybrid all through that area. Most grain sorghum hybrids are South Texas or High Plains hybrids, and this one has more of a tropical background with that anthracnose disease tolerance, and so it's going to be able to withhold a little bit more moist mornings. 73B12, this hybrid is actually kind of the cousin to the 7715 in terms of, if we think about where 7715 performs extremely well in more humid environments, this is going to be the opposite of that. So we're actually going to not perform in the highest of humid environments. We're going to go west into more of a dry land and more arid condition. This is a medium late. This hybrid is extremely well performing under those harsh conditions, a very open head, and it's going to perform extremely well west of 77. That's just a really nice cut off that highway. We like to think of it as a little higher rainfall as you travel east of 77, and then west of that, we know that historically those rainfall numbers are going to start deteriorating south. This is going to perform extremely well in that Agua Dulce area, and over into McCook and north. So while we're out here evaluating these sorghum hybrids, we have to pay attention close to one major detail. We have a lot of different maturities of sorghum hybrids out here in this area, and all these are small plots. So one of the things you're going to realize is this is not the exact same thing as a commercial field where you have essentially one hybrid for hundreds of acres, and then your neighbor might have a different hybrid or similar genetics. We have probably 40 or 50 hybrids out here in close proximity to one another. With that being said, when it comes down to management decisions and what you're going to plant, make sure that we're looking at planting on time with a proper maturity hybrid. So if your neighbors are planting medium maturity hybrids, make sure that you're planting medium maturity hybrids within that same planting window. Once you're outside of that window and you're planting 2 to 3 weeks later, simply because of Mother Nature, it may be an opportunity for you to switch up hybrids to something that's more likely to flower at the same time as the other neighbors. This here is what happens when you have a later maturing hybrid next to some earlier maturing hybrids. So sorghum midge is able to come in and start putting pressure on these plants, and they're going to start expressing that. So that sorghum midge comes in, lays a maggot during flowering and post-flowering, and that maggot kind of eats his way out and aborts that seed. So we like to see that our grain is extremely full and we're not looking at midge damage. Also, if we're looking at midge damage and you start thinking about spraying pyrethroids to manage midge, the caveat to that, there's always a caveat. I always think about, managing our crop. There's always a trade-off. So yes, we may be able to control midge, but we're also going to control our beneficial insects that can control our sugarcane aphid populations. So just food for thought. All these hybrids are a part of what we sell here in the Rio Grande Valley, here in Willacy and Hidalgo County, and I appreciate your time.